You've probably created a vision board before, right? Or at least set a monetary goal. How many of those have you achieved? And how many of those have you had to reset over and over and over again? Inside this episode, we're talking about how to create a monetary vision you can obtain and the major problem you need to be aware of if you're constantly having to reset your goals or if you've hit them only to fall back again. There's a reason for that cycle and a way to break it. This is the Your Money, Your Life podcast where ambitious women come together to have clarity, prosperity, and confidence with their money without sacrificing precious time and well-deserved fun. So let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of the Your Money, Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Aimee Cerka. We're talking about monetary vision today and setting a monetary vision you can actually obtain. So, got a couple of questions here for you that we are going to work through. This might be one that it would be good to listen to, like obviously listen through it once now, but maybe listen back through it again when you can pause and kind of implement as we go, because you could make this almost like a workshop type thing. So the first question I've got for you today, when you're setting your monetary vision, is where do you want to be in 5 years or 10 years from now? And we have to be detailed. We're going to go into like some questions to help you like really flesh this out. Oftentimes we overestimate what we can accomplish in a shorter period of time, either a year, a couple months, all those things, but we underestimate what we can actually accomplish in that long time frame. Because honestly, in the last 10 years that I've been in the personal finance industry and that I've had a business of some sort, I don't know. I mean, I probably had an idea with the business side of what I wanted things to look like, but it wasn't as, I mean, it looks different now because things evolve, but never mind. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. So where do you want to be in 5 years or 10 years from now? And why do you want that? What is that going to be able to do for you? Maybe it's a really nice home, a big home. Maybe it's travel. Maybe it's an organization you want to start. I mean, the whole thing. I'm going to give you some examples in a second on like how we can really draw this out, because we need the more visualization, the more visualization that we can do behind this, the more powerful it's going to be. So we need to know why you're going to do this. What is that going to do for you? How will you feel when you wake up? What time are you waking up even? How will you feel when you've accomplished this thing that you're working towards? And I can tell you right now, even talking about this, it's really, I have to be very aware of the fact that where I want to be 5 years, 10 years from now isn't necessarily where you want to be 5 years, 10 years from now. But when you do this exercise so frequently that you've ingrained and you know where you're going, like even just talking about it, I can see it. I can see the house. I can see waking up. I can see my office on the ranch. I can see the life that I have with my kids and my husband. And I can see all of those things because I've done this so many times. And that's what's important to me. I can see working out of that office, like I talked about, and working with the Money Master Inner Circle Academy clients, having private clients. I can see hosting a mastermind at my ranch, using the guest house to give the group a weekend away, and we can have a weekend of fun together and mastermind and do all those things because we have that in place. But again, what it is for me isn't necessarily what it is for you. Is it having somebody to come clean the house for you? Is it having somebody come do the laundry? Is it having somebody help with the kids? Is it giving back and seeing that smile on those kids' faces when you've made their dreams come true, where you gave back and you sent a group of foster kids to Disney World, or you started an organization For myself, I know it's the Nikki families that I want to help support. That relief on that mother's face, knowing that they don't have to stress about the money and they can focus on that little baby. How is it going to feel for you? What is this going to do for you? So we talk about making it tangible. So pictures, electronic is great, but there is something tactile that only happens when it becomes physical. So I have several boards up in my room. I have one that is like relative to 2022 right now, that I have my 2022 vision board up with things that I really want to accomplish this year, would like to see come to happen this year. And I have more long-term, some of the travel destinations, the big house that we want to build, the inside of that, what that looks like. Some of those things are on a different board, but make it tactile, poster board, something like that. I want to know though, how does it feel to create this? In the back of your head, are you still saying like, how the heck am I going to do this? Or yeah, I've done this before and it just feels out of reach. It's not going to happen. And then I'm going to lead to disappointment. So I'm not even going to do it again. That would be cognitive dissonance showing up. When we try and create a reality that is a big jump from anything that we've done in the past, we're going to self-sabotage to protect ourselves because it doesn't feel possible. So your brain's saying that's not possible. And that is a reason why many will have a high income month or one-time event and they can't sustain it because they didn't have the systems in place, or cognitive dissonance kicks in, a money ceiling. You heard of that before? So oftentimes we create these money ceilings that we feel like we can only make a certain amount. So maybe you've made $60,000 a year in your corporate job, and you'll make $60,000 a year in your business, but you haven't sustained it, or you can't grow past it. You'll grow past it and come back, grow past it and come back. You have a money ceiling of $60,000 in that instance. Once you're aware that you have that money ceiling going on, once you're aware that the cognitive dissonance is showing up, you can work on raising your money ceiling. You can work on removing that cognitive dissonance. It doesn't have to be, it's not like oh, you're out, like you can't do it anymore. We can change these things. This all goes back to our money mindset, the way that we set these things up for long-term success. We have to become aware of where we are self-sabotaging, because we are all self-sabotaging. We have these habits, we have these patterns that are built to protect us, but they are not protecting us from the growth that you are looking to achieve long-term. So if you have a money ceiling, and let's say having that notorious six-figure year, you want to have a six-figure year or six-figure month, six-figure day, whatever it might be. And you say that because you know that's the thing we say, right? But it doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel actually attainable. What does feel attainable? It can be something simple. Again, small incremental steps. We're going to overestimate where we can get in the short term, but we'll underestimate where we can get in the long term. So if you feel confident that you can make $100 this week or $100 this month, even if that's a bigger step for you, start there. When you hit that, because you're not self-sabotaging, then you can double it. 200, 250, and even like saying double it might freak you out a little bit. Start where we can with our money ceilings and the cognitive dissonance. Another strategy we talk about is not setting dates. So maybe we're not looking specifically at 5 years, 10 years down the line as like a hardcore date, just like more of a time frame. And don't put that pressure on yourself, like to have it done by a certain time. This is what you would like to create, or the steps that you would need to get there. So for the big ranch, I would like to have a different home first before we go to the bigger ranch home, which easily we could buy the property and have one house on there and then upgrade, build a new house later on down the road. That would totally work. But I know there's probably going to be there is going to be a stepping stone house in between the big ranch home that I'm looking for. And it's funny, I say ranch home, but it's not really a ranch home because it'll be at least two stories, which is not theoretically a ranch home. But we're getting into the details here. We're talking about your money vision. And if you are feeling uncomfortable with setting the time frame on it, just don't do it. Look at the vision of where you want to go. Don't get caught up in the date and the time. Just focus on the life that you would want to create. And then you'll be able to create it. So your challenge for today, I want to hear what is a part of your vision, where you want to be. What do you get excited about? You get lit up. You can just see the excitement, the fire. We had a conversation the other day at a church event, and I started talking about, the academy and the work that I do. And you could the person I was speaking with made the comment that you could tell I was totally in my zone, that I totally love what I do because of the way that I lit up and got animated and started talking. And if you know me, you know I'm an introvert. So it's like the dichotomy there, but you can tell it was something you're passionate about. So your challenge today, I want to hear, what about your vision lights you up? What about your vision gets you excited? What are you looking forward to? What are you creating? What is that going to do for you? Send me a message on Instagram at Aimee Cerka. I can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you next week for another episode. Your Money, Your Life podcast. Bye for now.